Hey guys, what's up? It's Slam Griffin, okay? And today we're going to review the most popular guitar arranging video on YouTube, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, okay? So it's by this guy, Andrew Foy. Andrew Foy is a really awesome, accomplished guitar arranger, fingerstyle dude, 3.08 M subscribers. Gosh dang, bro, I wish I was this guy. Let's just jump into it. Let's see what he has to say about arranging.
Hey guys, it's Andrew. Welcome
Clap
back
scared
to
me a
another
little bit.
video. I am super excited about today's topic because if you can't tell from the title already, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to arrange and how I learned to arrange.
Let's
Just
go.
as a quick warning before we begin. Arranging isn't that easy and it will take you a good amount of time. So
True. My first reaction is true.
I'm thinking at the least it'll take you about 6 months with diligent
Okay.
practicing. And it's very well worth it, guys. It's a lot of fun for me to arrange. I've arranged hundreds of songs and it never gets old.
Hundreds of songs.
So-
Okay, that's sick. This guy's in the trenches, and I do agree that it's definitely a complicated skill. 6 months is a pretty good time span to get you pretty freaking good at arranging. At least starting to crank out some solid stuff. At least that's been my experience in my program. Which, by the way, if you want to get sick at arranging, dude, if you want to go deep on arranging, there's a link down below. Give that a click and you can learn more, okay, if you want to. But back to the video, okay?
First, I'm going to start off by telling you some of my history and how I learned to arrange. As a young guitarist, around 9, I learned all of my basic chords,
That's like I started when I was 10.
and the next
So me and Andrew are very similar.
step was to move on to tablature and reading it.
Oh, interesting. So I started with electric. My dad taught me like basic chords and stuff way back. Like, you know, this guy. And then when I got into classical, I just started doing stuff by ear, actually. I just downloaded stuff on LimeWire and I learned that crap by ear. And it was hard, but I'm glad I did it. Then eventually I discovered a website called ClassTab.org. I think that's what it's called. And it has like a whole bunch of classical guitar tabs. And I just went down into that rabbit hole for a long time.
So I started off with songs like Scarborough Fair and Greensleeves.
Hell yeah.
Super simple songs, but reading tabs, it helps you warm up to the guitar and it gets you a general feel of the neck. For about 2 years, I played nothing but tabs. I found some great publishers like Kelly Valou. He has this website where you could become a
Kelly
member
Valou.
and have access to all of his tabs and the tutorials.
Nice.
This was the main
Assuming this is a fingerstyle guy.
method that I used to learn
Kelly
how to play
Valou.
fingerstyle guitar, and eventually how I learned to arrange. After playing his tabs
Nice.
one after another,
So you're saying like he just learned a bunch of fingerstyle arrangements, and then that gave him some ability in terms of arranging, or at least sort of showed him what was possible, or some of the norms of it, I guess.
I finally got a grasp on song structure and how he arranged songs.
Okay.
The day I started to arrange was actually really interesting. I was reading Kelly Valou's
Yeah. Let me stop him right here. I started with just like classical pieces, and I arranged stuff similar to the classical guitar music that I learned when I was basically learning classical guitar. So I think there's a parallel there.
tabs, and I was flipping through them. And I got to a certain page, and I kept playing. I didn't need to flip the page because I knew what was going to happen next. I started to arrange the next page of the song. Once I finished the song, my dad thought it was a good idea if I just
That's interesting. Like, so he was like playing an arrangement and then he flipped the page, or he didn't flip the page and he just started playing the next stuff that was happening. That's very interesting, especially like with no real formal kind of training, I guess. I don't feel like I can really do that. Maybe with simpler stuff to an extent I can sort of do that. But yeah, that's cool. That's interesting.
started my own arrangements. It's good for me, right? I thought arranging was so scary. I hated it. I did not want to do it because I'd have to use my brain and actually
dude.
figure the song out for
I freaking hate using my brain. I relate to that.
myself, which was extremely difficult at the time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, being creative was really hard for me. It was not easy and did not come that natural, so I actually had to learn how to be creative.
I like that he's saying that, that like being creative did not come natural, instead of like, oh, the music just comes through me, dude. You know what I mean? It's like no, he had to work at it. He sucked in the beginning, and now he doesn't suck at it. I think that's cool, good, helpful, real advice.
And add my twists and uniqueness to my own arrangements over time. Trust me, it wasn't easy. It was scary.
I love
and
twists.
I did not think I could do it. I just want you guys to know that arranging shouldn't be scary for you at all. You should dive into it. It's a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
promise.
you should definitely dive into it. You should definitely start doing it. Absolutely. I agree with that. That's the only way to actually get good.
So today I decided that as an example song for you guys to arrange, I'm going to be playing Royals by Lorde. I chose this song because it's extremely easy chord-wise. There's only 3.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
intro is actually only 1 chord.
Lordy.
And then it branches out into 3. But I thought it would be a great starter for you guys. So let's get right
It
into it.
is a great starter for us, guys.
To start off the arrangement, I suggest
We're tuned,
you guys
baby.
find the location of where your capo is going to go. So every song is in a different key. Well, pop songs nowadays, they're all the same. But they're usually in a different key, which means you're going to have to move your capo around.
Capo? Capo? Capo?
Now I'll
Capo?
find that
I have a
melody,
capo.
and I'll
Hell
put the
yeah.
capo where I think it should go. If you guys don't care about this stuff, don't worry about it. There's actually a
Oh!
ton of ways you can figure this
Perfect.
out.
Huh. Whew. I don't care about that stuff.
The intro starts off with a single D major. And one of the most
Cool.
important things you'll find in arranging
How fun.
is that the melody is not far off. It's always going to be close or inside of the chord that you're playing. So I'm going to show you guys exactly that.
Oh, well, I don't agree with that. There's been many, many occasions where the melody is not within the chord that I'm playing. I don't even learn chords first. I actually like just start with the melody and then I go to the bass. Well, what if the melody went ba 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 da ba ba? What would you do, bro? In that case, like your open chords in like first position aren't really gonna help you, right?
By the way, to find these chords, I just looked them up online. Or I figured them out by ear. It's not that hard.
Which one did you do, Andrew? You looked them up online or you figured them out by ear? Yeah.
So you can call that a
Boo boo. So that is a basic arrangement, right?
really simple, bare bones.
Yeah, I agree. That is those are the essential ingredients of this Lordy song. Okay, it's just the bass ringing out, and then the melody. Cool. That's actually enough. So like, if you're a beginner and you know you're technically not that amazing at guitar yet, that's fine. You want to start arranging and just do a bass and a melody arrangement. That can be cool. Now listen, this is my second take of trying to film this video, okay? So I already know that chord, all right? So don't get excited. Don't get excited, bud. I'm not like Andrew, okay? I did not just start playing the second page without even flipping it.
You can add filler and you can add harmonies to it. What I like to do is add a little percussion and I like to strum. So you get a taste of the chord with the melody. And now this is with the percussion and the little strums for the entire chord.
Okay. Okay, so he's basically doing. He's basically doing that.
And for this next
Cool.
part, I just play the entire chord.
So
So instead of a really
Going.
thin bass and melody,
you're right.
play the entire chord. And give it a little roll for spice.
For spice, I love spice. Hopefully it's not too spicy. I have a sensitive tummy.
Sounds
That's cool. So yeah, like I know all the time I'm talking about like you don't need theory, bro. Theory sucks, dude. You don't need to know these chords. I do think that. I absolutely do think that. In this case, with something that it happens to line up, perfectly down here with these open chords and everything, then yeah, that's totally fine. Ultimately, my process is melody first, then bass, then figure out the key, and then from there I start adding other stuff. But yeah, this is fine. This can work for stuff like this. I think this is contextually good advice. It depends.
right? So I was playing percussion as well. The thing about percussion is you want to get it just in the Goldilocks zone. You don't want to add too much. You don't want to add too little. For the snares, they're very ear piercing and they can get annoying after a while.
That's very, very true. I mean, when I'm doing recordings and stuff, I'm always trying to kind of temper those hits down a little bit. Pretty much as quiet as you can get them. tends to be the best in my experience for a lot of my stuff.
So try to limit it. So instead of going like crazy, like,
Oh God,
don't go crazy.
that sounded cool. I like that.
Just 2 and 4.
Okay, yeah, 2 and 4. That's so cool. Thank you.
4. Here's another thing
Okay,
that'll bring
yeah,
your
that's cool. I
arrangements
like that.
up a level. Add a syncopated bass line. So instead of playing half notes like I was playing, 1, 2,
So-
3, 4,
yeah.
it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. And when you add that in with the melody, it sounds pretty good. While I play this, try to pick out just the bass line.
Cool, yeah, I like that. So essentially, what I like to think about is the space that you're actually trying to fill. And a lot of times with the bass, as long as you're hitting those downbeats, as long as the bass is changing when it needs to, a lot of times you could continue to hit the bass note. And it usually is most effective to do it in between melodic or other content. So melodic or counter melody type stuff. So the melody's going along and there's a little gap, right? There's this note, then this note. It could be cool to put a bass note in right there, and it just keeps the sound happening. It keeps the sound consistent.
And if you really listen to it, you can hear that the bass line's bouncing along.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
can
just
hear
being
it.
straight and dull. It's something super
can
simple
hear
that
it,
you can do
A4.
that creates more depth in your arrangement. And you especially want to do this with a fingerstyle arrangement because this genre requires you to play multiple parts of the song with only one person. So you really want to pull out all the tricks and put everything together, but you don't want to overdo it. I've gotten asked a lot if I know music theory, and if you need it to arrange. You don't need any of that stuff. No key or time signatures, no modes,
bro.
no scales, nothing. All you need.
Look how passionate he is about that, dude. That's how I feel. You don't need theory. Why do I know you don't need theory? Because I've arranged, like him, I mean, not hundreds, but I've over 100 crazy, complicated video game things, and I haven't used any theory. Okay? Literally none. All right? Stop yelling at me in the comments.
Is your ears and your fingers. And you don't even need all your fingers. I'd never use this pinky for guitar.
Yeah,
I've
true.
also been asked
Same.
if I have perfect pitch, and I do not. I have relative pitch.
Unlike me, it is. You watch. Check this out. I have perfect pitch. Ba ba da ni ba na ni A sharp A F sharp B. You just do that, and people that don't know are gonna think that you have perfect pitch.
Instead of having to go through the entire guitar neck to find that one melody note, I already know where it is, and I can find it easily. Without this,
that's cool.
arranging would be such a struggle. I would be looking through the guitar neck to find every single note.
Okay, interesting what he says about struggle. I think that the way that I used to arrange, and I used to make like pretty complex stuff. I mean, it's always been pretty complex video game music, but the way I used to do it was so freaking inefficient, and the way I do it now is so efficient. And if you want to learn that method, if you want to learn my arranging method, there's a link down below. Click that puppy, okay? Let's get you sick at arranging. But before you do that, actually no, do it right now. If you want to do that right now, freaking do that right now.
Once you learn enough songs and read enough tabs, you get a feel for where notes are, and it makes everything easier. So what I mean by this is that I really recommend that you guys learn a ton of pieces before you start arranging.
Okay, I disagree with ton of pieces. I don't think you need to do a ton. I don't know. Ton is what does that even mean? What is a ton? I think that you can start doing bare bones bass and melody arrangements like pretty early, honestly, as long as your technique allows it. There's no reason you can't start doing those types of arrangements.
Don't try to go diving in for it because it will be very difficult. Also, if you guys are trying to learn guitar quickly, there's this really amazing website called Guitar.
Screw that website. Go to my website. So some closing thoughts. I agree with a lot of what he's saying in this video. I agree with the vast majority of it. There's a few things here and there that I disagree with slightly. One of the things that I really stress, I think is really important, is the process. So many people are starting out arranging and they just don't know what the hell they're doing, or they're already arranging and it feels really, really slow. It feels laborious. It does not have to be that way, okay? If you want to dive into arranging and you want to learn my method, how I arrange, this guy right here, click down below. There's a link in that description, dude. You know you want to click it, dude. Come on, dude. Click that link, bro. that's the video. This was fun. Let me know if you like these kind of reaction type videos. I'll do more of them. And yeah, that's it, dude. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video, subscribe so you can hate watch my content. All right. Have a good one.